Everybody, JayC here. Welcome to a Tuesday night live stream. We've got a lot to talk about tonight. Some good, some bad. I thought we would discuss a little bit Shippergate from Walmart and Target, plus some cool reveals today for Masters of the Universe and Marvel Legends. News breaking just this evening: the Batgirl movie that was going to have Michael Keaton has been scrapped. Apparently, the HBO Max movie was completely scrapped, according to reports. So, lot of things to dissect and go over tonight. But before we get into that, let's just do a little roll call and see who is in the house. So I see Everett is in the house. Welcome, Everett. Jay's Toys Collection UK, welcome. Always good to see some familiar faces. Lord Venger. Is it oh, it's Everett's birthday, or next week it's his birthday. So happy early birthday, Everett. Hope it's a good one. Let's see who else is down here. Mr. Allmine is in the house. Michael is in the house. Blake is in the house. Blake has two family members with birthdays in August. Hope your family members have a good one, Blake. Sean is in the house. 3M is in the house. Jerry is in the house. Hey Jerry, I got my Vulture Man Bengali this week as well. Well, I got Bengali last week, but I got my Vulture Man this week. So actually, not from Big Bad Toy Store though. I actually got mine from Entertainment Earth. So good to see that Big Bad Toy Store is also shipping theirs out to folks. I like the Vulture Man. I thought it was definitely a nice figure. Bengali wasn't bad either, but I've never had a strong attachment to Bengali, or frankly any of those I guess you call them second generation Thundercats that came on like in the final season or whatever. I'd kind of quit watching the show, I think, around the time those characters debuted. So I got them all, but I don't have as much of an attachment to them. But Power Turtle Busters is in the house. Just got in from crazy Florida, not going back. Who was hectic. I don't know if I'd ever use the word hectic with Florida, but I guess it depends on what part of the state you go to. I always go when I go to Florida, I'm going to visit my dad, where basically it's nothing but old people. So Danny's in the house. What's up? Blake says he got two beat the crap out of gung ho's from Walmart a few days ago. Yep. So yes. I got two gung ho's and then one of each of the others, and all of them came with, some type of crease in the packaging. The Baroness here was the worst. And I'm debating on whether I should contact Walmart customer service just to see if I can get a refund. I've heard that Walmart's basically just said, keep the figure and they'll refund your money. But then I have to determine if I want to try and get another Baroness. The others, again, have some minor creases, but not anything near as bad. But all of them, they shipped each one in a freaking envelope. So this is what they came in. So, Hasbro didn't use very sturdy cardstock with these to begin with. So, of course, when they ship in an envelope like this, they're going to get bent up and messed up and everything. So, completely ridiculous. And I've even seen where, like, some people got them in boxes, but they were like boxes 2 times too small for the figure. So they still didn't end up in any better condition. So, and Target's not any better. The last few shipments of Target, they've been putting these big giant stickers on the packaging. I mean, what the hell? Why do we need to put this big sticker on the front or the back? I mean, now with these, it's not that big a deal. I'm going to open these. So I didn't buy these to keep these in the packaging. This line, this is a line that really is made to be kept on the card backs. I wouldn't have gotten this Baroness. The Baroness I got from Target, I was more than happy with. So I only ended up getting these because I was going to keep them all on the card backs. I like the original vintage card backs, and so I was going to keep them all. I got 2 Gung Ho's because I wanted one Gung Ho to open since it's classic Gung Ho, and then I was going to keep one on the card. But, when they send it like this, what the hell's the point? And, I know, people are hoping that the ones that ship from Hasbro Pulse will end up in better condition. And I would at least say there's a fair chance. But again, Hasbro used such thin cardstock on these that, even Hasbro Pulse might find it hard to get these out to people and not end up getting bent or warped or anything like that. But it's ridiculous. I mean, it's just, and let's not pretend like Walmart didn't know who they were selling this to. I mean, they sold these things during their Collector Con, right? An event that they created specifically to try and attract adult collectors. They knew they weren't selling this to kids. So the fact that they did not take any special, precautions in shipping this stuff out to people is just, it's ridiculous. And, I'd sit here and rant about it all night if I thought it would do any good, if I thought Walmart gave 2 shits about what they're doing. They know people are still going to buy from them. They know as long as they get the exclusives, there's, people are still going to buy from them. They know Hasbro's not going to do anything, or any of these toy companies. Those DC Superpower figures from McFarlane Toys, that's going to be a similar situation, I'm willing to bet. Assuming they ever actually get them up online. They went up online today, but then when you tried to add them to your cart, it wouldn't let you actually check out. So who knows when they'll actually make them available for purchase. But when they do, it's going to be the same thing, I'm sure, where, they're going to send that stuff in like envelopes that, where they're going to get all bent up. But the toy companies aren't going to do anything to significantly punish Walmart or Target. They're beholden to those retailers, and they're just going to be like, oh, when can we get you our next exclusive? So, I thought about making a video talking about, like not a live stream, but like an actual video, or writing an editorial on TNI. We did run a Toy Farce piece making fun of it, just because, sometimes you just got to laugh at this, the absurdity of this stuff. But at the end of the day, it's not going to matter no matter what. I don't see Walmart or Target giving a crap and really taking extra steps to make sure this type of product ends up in good condition. So that's my rant on that subject. So yeah. All right, what else do we want to talk about? Yeah, Scruffy Nerd. Yeah, the Toy Bit, like the Marvel Legend retro card box, they generally are on thicker cardstock. Whereas, like, we saw this with like the Star Wars retro figures, and probably the 3 3/4 inch GI Joe. I mean, my guess is it's a cost cutting measure, to keep the, thin, cheap cardboard to keep the cost down. But it definitely does not make it easy to, collect these things, especially with the way Walmart ships them, to collect these things and keep them in on card. And 9 times out of 10, if this was a regular GI Joe classified figure, I'd be like, yeah, I'm going to open it anyway. I don't really care that much. I mean, I know there are mint on card collectors that don't open anything. But again, with a line like this is meant to be kept on the card for the most part. There'll be some people that will open these, but I think most people who are buying these are going to keep them on the card backs. And so, a line like that, it just, to me, it's ridiculous that they can't do a better job. And we'll never hear like Hasbro bring this up or apologize or anything like that. They'll just be like, it'll pretend like it never happened, because, they don't want to get in Walmart's bad graces. They don't want to make Walmart look bad. So we'll probably never hear Hasbro even address this stuff. So I don't know if that stuff is leaked. Target has put up more and more of that stuff on their website. The guitar, the Cross the Spider Verse stuff, those Titan figures. So the one that's like the cyborg Spider Woman, that one I haven't seen put up. But like even like Entertainment Earth has listings, which they don't have any images yet, but they have listings for those. So I don't know if I would classify those as leaked, as more so I think just they've decided the product was already too far along in the pipeline, and when Sony decided to delay the movie until next year, till next summer. And so I think the product is just gonna, most of it anyway, is just gonna end up getting released. So I won't say 100%, but and there's Marvel Legend figures coming. There's a wave of Marvel Legends that will be based on that movie, at least have some figures from that movie in it. So a Spider-Man wave. So I'm waiting to see, that I know that wave was supposed to be out this year originally. So I'm waiting to see if that ends up still getting released this year, or if they're going to try and, like they did with the Eternals. I mean, we saw what happened with that Eternals wave when they tried to hold those and sit on them, and it just didn't work very well. They leaked out. So I feel like if they weren't able to hold them from like shipping out to retailers and stuff, then they probably should just go on and release it and hope that none of the initial toys are too spoilers for the movies. Not really anything right now. I Yeah, I don't really have anything new to share with you. We still got things that I've told you guys are coming that have yet to be revealed. So, um, yeah, so nothing right now on the new rumor front for you guys. I've seen a few rumors floating around from McFarlane, nothing too shocking, like Aquaman movie figures for the new Aquaman movie. I mean, they're gonna do movie figures for every movie that comes out. Flash should be getting, the Flash movie should be getting something. So I don't know if I'd really call that spoilerish. Um, Trying to think. So the Batwoman movie, man, what the hell? Like $10 million down the drain because, well, there's mixed reports. People, the initial report was that the reactions from the screen tests, the audiences from the screen tests, was so bad that they decided to shelve it. And now I think there's some folks from the studio that are claiming that they just didn't want to go the route of doing a movie straight to HBO Max or something. I don't know, something ridiculous. But you're not going to can a movie because you didn't want to, after you've spent all the money to make it. You're not going to can the movie unless there is some real reason. I mean, think about it. The Flash movie, where you've got the lead actor who is on an almost weekly basis in the news for doing something fucked up. Not quite to the point where he's like killed somebody yet, but whether he's beating people or whatever, and they are still going forward with that movie. So anyone who believes they're shelving the Batgirl movie for something that, because some executive decided they didn't want to go that route, uh, I got some swampland to sell. Yeah, it's not that much. That it's Yeah, it is probably a little more than a drop in the bucket. Plus, just the negative PR that they are going to get over the course of the next several days. I mean, Warner Brothers, I guess, should be used to it by now. Seems like every time you turn around, there's some type of scandal or some bad publicity going on with their movies. Whether it's the Snyderverse stuff. I mean, San Diego Comic Con, everyone was talking about how Zack Snyder had like faked all the demand for the re-release of his Justice League movie, like he used bots or something. I mean, it's just like every time you turn around, there's some type of scandal with DC and Warner Brothers movies. But no problem on the link. It's actually that 3-pack is still available. You're canceling your Null 2-pack, I guess, because you were getting it for the Venom. Yeah, I definitely like the Venom in this set better than the Null one. But if you want Null, I guess, then you still want to get the Null 2-pack. But oh, three, I don't doubt that Zack Snyder probably used PR firms and bots and stuff to try and, inflate demand. But my thing is, my feeling is studios do that stuff all the time. I mean, I think you'd be amazed at how much bullshit is manipulated on social media. When something's trending, I always take that with a grain of salt, because all it requires to get something trending is just spending a lot of money to get people to go out, PR firms and people and stuff to go out and get it to trend. So those algorithms can be manipulated very easily if you've got the money to do it. So I just my thing was, yeah, he probably did it, but I feel like that's something that happens in Hollywood all the time, so I'm not sure why it's so scandalous that he did it. Yes, Michael, and you know why I know about it? Because we were one of the first to report about it on Marvelous News. Yes. I mean, it's not a big leak. I don't think it's anything that major shocking, but yes, we reported on those last week. Well, again, I Deadpool, that's a case where in my view, those were deliberate leaks. Those were not like accidental. That's another case. I mean, Deadpool was a good movie, and I think it was good that they released it. But anyone who thinks that was accidental, I got some Swampland to sell you. Blake Runner, if you're talking about the Venom Marvel Legend 3-pack, yes, it is exclusive to Amazon. It is still available. It's been available since 1 o'clock today. So I think it will probably sell out eventually, just because like I look at the Doc Ock and Silk 2-pack and that's sold out, even though they are supposed to relist that at some point. But but yes, right now it is still available. So if you want it, I'd go on and pre-order it. That Venom is the new in the new 3-pack is the best Hasbro's done so far. Yeah, I agree. It was actually, I we can actually just for those who maybe have not really looked at it or don't know what the hell we're talking about. So I kind of agree that this is a pretty solid set overall. I ended up pre-ordering one myself. So if you want to complete, the team of symbiotes, she's going to be an addition. I thought this was going to end up being a Build-A-Figure when they first showed it at Comic-Con. But yeah, that Venom is pretty nice. And my initial thought is I wish we got a head that didn't have like the huge tongue sticking out, but I'm guessing that probably if you've got other Venom figures, those heads will fit on this one. So I'm not too worried about that. I mean, I like the head with the tongue, and I like the face being exposed, but I wouldn't mind having like a third head of just like a more normalized Venom head. But like I said, I've got other Venom figures where I figure the head will fit on, so I'm not too worried about that. I did see that picture he posted of the back. Yeah, I have not posted that on Marvelous News. I probably should, but yeah, I did see him post it. All right, it's a new 3-pack that was announced today. Went up for pre-order today on Amazon. It features a new Venom figure, plus it's got the Agony figure that we saw at Comic-Con, and the Riot figure that we saw at Comic-Con. So those are all part of a 3-pack, which, like I said, is Amazon exclusive. It's $80, so I guess it's not too bad of a price for the larger size figures. And you can get it now, Everett, if you want to. It's on there. You can go to you guys should know this. You can go to Marvelous News, and there's a direct link. So you can go to this story right down here, click on it, and there you go. Pre-order now. $80. Well, $78. Release date November 1st. Yeah, the pack. See, now, we've talked about this windowless packaging, and one of the things I said was I did not like the, just like making it look like it's the figure on the front. I thought that's boring and plain. I don't mind necessarily not having the windows on the packaging, again, for me personally, because I buy most of my figures online these days. But I did feel like they should be sprucing the packaging up with artwork, not just showing like images of the figures. So I feel like they've kind of taken that with the packaging on this, and given us some really nice artwork on the packaging. So this is something, that I definitely will open the figures, but this is like a box that I could see myself saving and just like displaying as artwork almost, because it's just really nice artwork. So this is what I think they should be doing more of if they're going to stick with the no windows on the packaging. I think they need to give us some really cool artwork on the front of these things. So that was definitely my first thought when we saw those initial Spider-Man figures without the windows. Was, man, the windows for people who buy at retail, having to worry about swappers sucks. But to me, it was just like ugly packaging. It was like, yeah, give us something really cool, some cool artwork, which, they do on the Transformers. If you ever buy any of the Transformers stuff, usually those have really cool artwork on it. And I actually display some of the boxes, like the Predaking and the Omega Supreme and some of the others, I actually have on display because the artwork to me is so cool. So I feel like that is what we need to see more of for packaging from these lines if they're going to go forward with getting rid of the packaging. Now, they told us at Comic-Con that the retro stuff, the retro card back stuff, will continue to have plastic. I know people were worried like they were going to get rid of the plastic on those retro card back figures and stuff. So for those types of figures, we will continue to get plastic on them. Everett, I want to say the Venom figure uses the Omega Supreme mold, but they plug the holes and stuff. I want to say, I could be wrong in that, but I mean, it's a bigger size. It's bigger. It's I don't know if it's as big as the Hulk, but it is a buffer type Venom. The Agony is bigger, but Venom is definitely got some good size to him. As always, Blake, much appreciated. I do my best, man. I really try. Anonymous, yeah, that Beast figure. I mean, I have the Beast, so I don't know if it's worth getting it again. I probably will get it, but I'll probably keep it on the card back. I'm a sucker for these these vintage card backs. I try to resist them, but I usually get them and then I don't open the figures because I hang them up and stuff. So I'll probably get the Beast just because it's on the retro card back. But yeah, like Dan Hu's review of that figure, I don't know if you guys caught that, but it was definitely pretty nice. Aaron, yeah, they announced that last week during or during Comic Con. They made that announcement. So I I could see how it got lost in the shuffle of everything, all the news that came out during that time period. But yeah, they did make that announcement. Things like the Star Wars retro figures, the Marvel retro ones, the G.I. Joe retro ones, anything that has that retro style packaging will continue to have plastic on it. So in their statement, what they were saying is all those retro style card backs they weren't differentiating. They called out some specific lines, but the gist was that all those retro style figures will continue to have plastic. They weren't specifically just saying only the 3 3/4 inch stuff will have plastic. They were saying pretty much all those retro, because that's the whole point of those. There's no point in doing a retro style card back and taking away the plastic. It wouldn't be, you couldn't do it. So you'd either have to just stop doing the retro card back stuff or you're going to have to keep the plastic. So they've opted to keep the plastic, which I think is a smart decision. Um, and frankly, not one I'm surprised about. But they did confirm that last week, or was it? Yeah, it was last Comic Con was last. God, I've lost track of time. But whenever Comic Con was, that's when they confirmed it. Speaking of conventions, so PowerCon is this weekend. I'm curious, is there anybody out there watching who's actually going to PowerCon this weekend? Does anybody out there care about PowerCon? Especially since I know it pissed people off that essentially it was no longer the Masters of the Universe only convention. But I'm just curious, if anybody is planning on attending PowerCon this weekend. I'm curious to see, how much of a draw they're able to get with people to a convention like this. Michael, PowerCon this year is in Columbus, Ohio. Well, again, Power Turtle guy. PowerCon is no longer a Masters of the Universe convention. Companies like NECA Toys are going to be there. The Four Horsemen are going to be there with their Mythic Legions. The Nacelle company with their RoboForce are going to be there. A few other smaller companies are going to be there. But they're basically trying to create an overall general toy convention, kind of like San Diego, minus all the Hollywood glitz and everything. So it is no longer a Masters of the Universe convention. In fact, Mattel will not be there this year. So there won't be like new Masters of the Universe reveals at PowerCon this year. So NECA will have some new things, probably for Turtles and stuff, that they did not have at Comic Con. But but it is now a general toy convention, not a Masters of the Universe one. Hey Mike, yeah, I do. Yeah, it wasn't bad. I mean, I can't say I like traveling all the way to Rhode Island, but it wasn't. They actually did a pretty good job with that convention. But I don't think Hasbro was too happy with the results. I don't think they got enough of a draw to be worth it. Is my feeling. I don't know that 100%, but I feel like that was kind of why they ended up, they were originally going to do a second one and then they canceled it and went a different way. So Hoping NECA does Mirage style that was on the stickers. Yeah, I mean, I don't know exactly what they're going to show at PowerCon. So NECA is going to be at PowerCon this weekend, and then they're also going to be at New York Comic Con, so which is in like October, if I remember correctly. So I don't know how much new they're going to have. I think they're going to announce a new license at PowerCon, but I don't know what license. Not Masters of the Universe, I don't think. But and then, like I said, they didn't have a whole lot in the way of new movie stuff for Turtles at San Diego. So I'm wondering if they're going to have any new like movie Turtle stuff on hand at PowerCon. Well, again, PowerCon is no longer a Masters of the Universe convention. And the reason why PowerCon was always in California is because that's where Mattel is located. And I basically I don't think Mattel wanted to travel across the country to go to, a convention the size of PowerCon. So that's why they had to have PowerCon always in California. The downside to that is California is very expensive. It's very expensive for people to travel to. It's very expensive to hold an actual convention at. And so, I think the decision was made to move it out of California, which meant they lost Mattel, at least for now. We might see Mattel return. I don't know. I think a lot of it's going to depend on how many people they can draw in for the convention. You know, one day I think it would be very cool if PowerCon or a convention like PowerCon could have like all the companies come, like Hasbro and Mattel and McFarlane and NECA and all those companies come for a toy centric only convention. Not a Comic Con per se, but like an actual toy convention where all these companies come and they show off new products. No exclusives this year at PowerCon, but down the road, we might see companies start offering exclusives at PowerCon as well. I don't know. But I'm not sure if I thought Super 7 was going to PowerCon, but I haven't seen them mention it recently, so I forget whether Super 7 is going to be at PowerCon or not. I do not. Randy has on multiple occasions pretty much said no to Michael Bay Turtles, and frankly, I don't blame him. However, I will tell you 3-0, if you like 1/6 scale figures, is going to be doing some Michael Bay Turtle figures. So if Michael Bay's your thing, you might want to check those out. Those are 12-inch, but they're going to be doing those. Maybe. Um, and yeah, I don't know if it's always going to be the same time of year every year. I mean, there's a lot of different comic conventions and stuff, and I think, most of those guys try and be respectful if there's like an established con. And I do think there's actually another, like Gen Con or something is maybe also this week. So, what's up, Henry? But I mean, like I said, we had San Diego last month, PowerCon this month. We're gonna have New York Comic Con. I think I forget the exact date of New York, but I think it's like early October. So it's kind of hard to get a significant size window these days for a convention. No, at least not this year. The biggest company at PowerCon this year is going to be NECA Toys. I could see them doing 2003 Turtles before Bay Turtles, but I have to wonder if Playmates would fight that. To try. I don't think right now Playmates Toys would be too keen on seeing NECA do something more modern like 2003 or such. That's my speculation, but you got to remember Playmates Toys is still the master toy license holder for Turtles, so they have a lot of say, I think, on what these other companies are able to do and not do. Evos this weekend for fighting games. I'm not familiar with that one, but Austin. I guess it depends on what kind of company you're talking about. So like Lego is probably bigger than Mattel, maybe even Hasbro these days. I'm not sure, but they're definitely. But Lego is not necessarily action figures. So if you're talking about the world of collectible action figures, third biggest, I'd probably maybe put. I mean, I don't have numbers, so I'm kind of just guessing. But Jack's, Playmates, Toys, those tend to be a little bit bigger companies. But those companies don't put a lot of emphasis on the collector market, per se. So they definitely still gear their products more for the kids. Um, but McFarlane has been growing. I mean, they've gotten some pretty big licenses. I mean, DC kind of put them, has definitely put them in the up there. I mean, I don't know revenue wise. I mean, according to Todd, who's said this multiple times, his DC multiverse figures have outsold Hasbro's, Star Wars and Marvel figures in 2021. So, you know, why? Because NECA is a competitor to Playmates Toys, and the more product that another company does of something, the less likely they're going to be able to profit off of it. If NECA, Playmates still does some stuff from that era of figures. So, these are businesses. These aren't, these guys aren't just all fans doing stuff that, there's business decisions here. So, I mean, Playmates probably isn't super happy with anybody doing turtle stuff, but since Playmates doesn't really, and again, I'm not saying this is speculation on my part to a large extent, but if you've paid for the license for something, you're not going to want to see another company making product that's going to kind of like possibly take away from your sales. Yeah, Bandai America is another one that's probably in that size of like Jackson, and I might even put Jazzwares in there. That initial batch of stuff should be out pretty soon, probably this month or next month, I think. But I mean, they haven't announced anything more since those initial figures. Even like the Prodigy stuff, they still haven't really shown us in great detail. So we haven't seen the ship from Prodigy yet. We haven't seen the holographic Janeway from Prodigy. Just the three Wrath of Khan figures, the three Next Generation figures, and the two Discovery figures from the first season, and then the Enterprise in the phasers. The only thing they've really showed, and I think, like I said, those should probably start seeing release either at the end of this month or next month. Yeah, well, the big things the AEW or AEW, the big things Jazzware has is AEW and Fortnite. Though obviously they lost the 6-inch scale to Hasbro, but they still do the 4-inch Fortnite stuff. They've got those new Star Wars Micro Machine type sets that they're doing. Um, Halo, they still got their Halo figures. So and then I mean they do other things outside of just boys action figures. So most of these companies, Jack's, Playmates, Jazzwares, they don't just do action figures. They do other types of toys made for the kids. Yeah, Pokemon. Jerry's right about Pokemon. That's probably a big one for them. Jazzwares. So though I classify those as like mid-sized companies, not as big as Hasbro and Mattel, but bigger than like a Super 7 or even a NECA Toys or Mezco. McFarlane, I used to probably put in the category of like NECA and such, but I think in recent years they've definitely grown more. So I definitely start to put McFarlane more in that mid-size range. Definitely, I don't put them in the same range as like Hasbro, Mattel, or Lego, but but uh, but I kind of classify those in that mid-size range. Oh, I am. Yeah, my bad. Thanks, Carlos. I forgot to switch back. Austin, I do not know for sure if they have die cast. They might have some, but I think they are mostly plastic. I want to say they're mostly plastic, but I have not had any of those in hand. So I think those are starting to see release. So you probably could go to YouTube and see if anyone's thrown up some reviews of them yet. And if they haven't, they probably will very soon. Sorry, Blade Runner, I didn't see yours. When I get to rambling, I comments get by me. I don't see. Hypothetically, what might happen if Hasbro had both Marvel and DC? Uh, you'd probably see Marvel Legends style DC figures. Other than that, I don't know, but I don't think that's ever going to happen unless, like I said, I've said before, if Disney ever bought Warner Brothers or something like that, then you might see one company have both licenses. But as long as, Warner Brothers owns DC and Disney owns Marvel, I think you will see different toy companies have those licenses. And honestly, I feel like if you wanted my honest opinion, if to me it would almost be more likely you could see McFarlane Toys getting both Marvel and DC over Hasbro getting DC and Marvel. I'm not saying it's going to happen in any way. I don't think there's any way it's going to happen. But if one company was going to grab up both of the collectible licenses for Marvel and DC, I actually think McFarlane might be a little more hungry for that than Hasbro would. Carlos, I don't know. I was disappointed to hear at Comic Con that NECA cannot do animated series Dungeons and Dragon figures, and I'm not sure why. If it's because there's a holdup with the cartoon itself, or whether it's just like Hasbro doesn't want NECA doing those. Maybe that because they're going to do them themselves. I don't know. But I think it was in a Pixel Dan interview that I saw Randy say that they could not actually do, they did not have the ability to do figures for the animated series Dungeons and Dragons. Well, Discovery owns Warner Brothers, which owns DC. So yeah, technically you're right, but again, well, somebody obviously management canceled it, but the reason why they canceled it, I don't believe it's because management had a change of heart. You don't cancel that something like that at that stage because you changed your mind. At least in my opinion, you don't. No, Hasbro owns Power Rangers. Hasbro has that license. They actually bought. They don't. It's not like they bought that license, so they are Power Rangers. Though there is some stipulation, I think, with Power Rangers overseas, but for the most part, Hasbro is the one that actually owns. I could, neck Goonie. Somebody did Goonie figures some time back. I forget who. I want to say somebody did those. I feel like Michael Keaton is cursed when it comes to these DC movies and DC in general. Like, I mean, look at all the chaos that is you know risen up around the Flash movie. I mean, I was really looking forward to the Flash movie, but look at all the crap that's come up with that movie thanks to Ezra Miller. Now we've got the Batgirl movie that Michael Keaton was going to be in, and that's essentially been scrapped. Michael Keaton's Mezco figure is in limbo indefinitely. I mean, I feel like Batman Michael Keaton is for some reason is cursed. Do I think we'll ever see a Power Rangers HasLab? Certainly, I think it's possible, but I mean, they're doing those Zords, but they didn't feel the need to go HasLab route for those. So Aaron wants to see Lost Boy figures, the vampires. And some of those licenses, my guess is you also have likeness rights issues. CJ, yeah, I mean, I've seen that idea floated around many times. Michael Keaton playing an older Batman for Batman Beyond. I think it's a good idea, but who knows what Warner Brothers is going to do. CJ says Todd's in his good graces for doing the Booster and Blue Beetle 2 pack. I got the Bane figure this week, and actually that's a really nice Bane figure. I was pretty happy with that one. So Todd's actually been putting out some good stuff recently. The Martian Manhunter. I haven't opened this one yet, but I mean it looks really good. The more original look of the character. So we're actually starting to see more than just Batman from Todd here recently. So hopefully he keeps it up. Uh, Secretary, I know they were talking about that, but why are you saying it's not looking like it's going to happen? Because Mattel's suing them for uh, or threatening to sue them or something. But I forget what line, which one of their lines. Well, CJ, will be honest with you. I'd rather see a regular comic book Wonder Woman before we see Zatanna. I wouldn't mind seeing her, but I feel like the first female regular comic book character we need to get is a Wonder Woman. Yeah, the static figure, I don't know. and it's not even like it's not as I would have rather seen his classic look, like the DC Icons one they did. I kind of like that look better. This one got going is pretty flashy. I don't know, Neil. Ghost Rider, probably Danny, or not Danny Keach, but probably Robbie Reyes with his car. Maybe the others, but I have no idea. Your Turtle van got canceled. That sucks. What about those? I was pretty, you know, the sewer layer play sets that they showed off at San Diego NECA. Those actually look pretty. I mean, I'm waiting to see what the price is going to be on those, and I'm not sure where I would display them, but those look kind of cool. I so far have not had a huge problem with like the rubber crotches, but I do worry like long term if those aren't, that material's not going to get stretched out and it's going to become a problem. But I mean, I've been buying more and more McFarlane stuff recently, so I guess he's doing something right. Uh, how do I like Ghost Rider as a character? I mean, he's an interesting character. I read Ghost Rider in the '90s, so I'm more of a Danny Ketch type guy. But yeah, he's my favorite Ghost Rider. I always thought he had the coolest spike too. But John Blaze is obviously the original, and I mean, they brought him back in the '90s, Johnny Blaze as well. So with Vengeance and stuff. So I haven't read a lot of the more modern Ghost Rider. I have not read a whole lot of stuff with Robbie Reyes and his muscle car. So I'm familiar with him from Agents of Shield. I read a few Avengers titles that he appeared in, but I'm that's the Ghost Rider I'm least attached to. So, what's up, Mr. Jones? Welcome. The thing I don't like, McFarlane struggles with the movie figures because of he doesn't do a good job with human faces. The McFarlane figures, I guess because they're not really using the scanning technology like Hasbro does. So I feel like a lot of their movie figures, the likenesses are kind of off. That's probably my biggest complaint with McFarlane stuff these days. Well, McFarlane articulation has definitely gotten better in recent years. I used to hate McFarlane figures for the lack of articulation, but that's definitely improved in recent years. It's still not up to par with like Marvel Legends in my opinion, but it's better than like a lot of the Mattel DC figures in my opinion. Yeah, I agree with you there, Jerry. They did see I haven't seen that figure in person yet, but from the images I've seen, they did a pretty good job with The Rock and his likeness on that one. Sean, what's my take on Marvel's upcoming figures? Be a little more specific. Which upcoming figures are you referring to? I'm still waiting up for to get my hands on the U.S. Agent figure. Waiting for that. I know that wave started to show up at Walmart stores, but I'm hoping somebody online here in the U.S. gets them fairly soon in stock because I want my U.S. Agent figure. Damn it! Uh, that sucks. Yeah, Super 7 has some quality control issues here and there, but I mean, everybody, I guess, does to a certain extent. My Vulture was really nice. I was pretty happy with mine. What's up, Sean? Welcome. Blake, so I've got a package that will be here tomorrow, I think, tomorrow or Thursday. And that's gonna have the Mafex Nightfall Batman, because after I saw the McFarlane one, which the figure itself doesn't look too bad, but I don't like the light gray colors on the legs. So I decided to get the Mafex one. I may end up getting the McFarlane one still anyway, but I got the Mafex one, so that one's coming. Should be here this week. I forget who made it, and it was kind of like just a splurge purchase, but it was like a model of the ship from G-Force, Gatchaman. So I thought that was pretty cool, and so I decided to get that. It was in stock at Big Bad Toy Store, so I just added it, and so that's coming. Some Star Wars Black Series figures, the Obi-Wan Kenobi, and I think the fifth brother uh, is in the box that's coming. And Transformers Motor Master Stunticon is in the box. So that should be here this week from Big Bad Toy Store. I have sitting in my pile of loot, I haven't shipped yet. Finally, my Valorverse Sergeant Slaughter figure from Wave 1 has finally arrived. So I'm waiting for that. But I've only got that and a Storm. I didn't cancel my GI Joe Classified Storm Shadow from Big Bad Toy Store that I pre-ordered, even though I got him from somewhere else. But I figured it wouldn't hurt to have two of them. So that the Storm Shadow and that Sergeant Slaughter from Valorverse are sitting in my pile of loot right now. But I'm waiting to build up some more stuff before I ship that out. The Toby Spider-Man. I think I'm pretty sure, I won't say 100%, but I'm pretty sure like Big Bad Toy Store will be offering that. Um, Probably, maybe later this week. I don't know for sure, but I wouldn't be. I've seen some other sites I've never heard of having that up for pre-order. But if you want somebody, more maybe that you've dealt with before, I do think Big Bad Toy Store will end up carrying that figure. I got Sludge the other day, so he's a nice figure. I'm yeah, those Dinobots they've been doing are really nice. So I've already got him. Well, Storm Collectibles at least is doing. They've so far shown the leader of the team. I'm hoping they end up doing the whole team, but Storm Collectibles is actually doing G-Force figures right now. At least they've shown one of them, and it's up for pre-order. Yeah, I was really impressed with how they did this, how the motor or Menosaur uh combiner looked with these new Stunticons. I mean, I have the last round of Stunticons Hasbro did, which all look pretty good in their robot modes, but I was not happy with the Menosaur. So that's why I decided to get these. So I have a drag strip already, and I've got Motor Master will be here this week. So I definitely plan on finishing those out. Jared, yeah, the Hasbro ones are nice, but they're not really in scale with Masterpiece. So I have the Masterpiece Grimlock, but I also got the Studio Series one. Um, and I'm definitely getting all those Dinobots. I don't buy every single one of those Studio Series figures, but I've definitely been picking up a fair amount of them recently. Like I hope they do all the Insecticons, and obviously, we know they're going to do all the Stunticons, but like I hope they start doing some of the other combiners as well in this style. Bruticus, the Combaticons I'd like to see, the Aerial Bots I'd like to see. Which company have I spent the most money on? I would say probably Hasbro, just because I collect GI Joe, I collect Marvel Legends, I collect a lot of Transformers, I collect Star Wars. So company wise, I definitely spend the most money on Hasbro stuff. So what about that new for you Masters of the Universe fans, what about that new Too Bad figure they showed today? That was pretty nice. I'm pretty sure this is going to be a deluxe figure, but definitely one I'm going to add to my Masterverse collection when it gets released. But this was today's Mo Tuesday reveal from Mattel. I thought they did a pretty nice job with this, assuming the final figure looks this good. I've really been happy with Mattel's Masters of the Universe stuff here recently. So GI Joe Classified, Masters of the Universe, Masterverse, Marvel Legends. Those are probably the top three lines that I've been collecting in DC Multiverse. Oh, and Spawn, to be honest, I was never a huge Spawn. Like I never collected Spawn figures back in the day. I have all the original Image comics, but I'd never collected the toys. But I've been collecting a lot of the recent Spawn stuff. Now that Todd has started to give his figures articulation, I've been picking up those Spawn figures. John says we need more good guys. We've gotten a pretty good number of good guys, and we've got Roboto coming. Well, I guess it depends on like how you break up the Masterverse line, because obviously we've got Revelation characters, and then we've got like New Eternia. So I don't know if you really put those two things together. Um, so if you're just looking at it from the Revelation standpoint, or whether you're looking at it from like the New Eternia standpoint, it's a New Eternia version, which is essentially original. I guess I don't know what you mean by original, but it's not a Revelation version or something. Lord Vengar, I do not know when Mattel's going to put that up on the Mattel Creations website. I'm thinking either this month or next, but they have not given a release date yet. Um, my um, my Koldar figure, I just got a shipping notification from Mattel Creations that one's shipping out. Of course, I didn't get Wondar because I got screwed. Anonymous, yeah, that that's my most recent arcade edition, the Street Fighter 2. But I've been playing that a lot. I forgot how fun the original Street Fighter 2 game is. Like Arcade One Up has a new cabinet coming out, and I was thinking about trying to get that, but it's going to be very hard to fit a full size cabinet in here, another one. So I got the smaller, tabletop one, which works pretty well for me. I think the only if they ever re-release the Star Wars arcade cabinet, I'm gonna try and get that from Arcade One Up because I missed out on it, and I'd like to have that. But that's probably the only full size cabinet that I will get if from Arcade One Up, just because I don't have the space. If I had more space, I would definitely get more of them. Like I'd get the Dragon's Lair, and maybe a few of the others, but I just don't have the space. I got the clean one when it first came out. I don't know how hard it is to get now. I'm waiting for like the GameStop um cowboy spawn with the horse. Not cowboy spawn, but you know what I mean. But the one that comes with the horse, that was supposed to like ship a long time ago from GameStop, and I'm still waiting on that one to arrive. Gunslinger. I love the Manny faces they had on display at San Diego. I think that's a great looking figure. That's one I'm looking forward to. Yeah, a Masterverse Panther would be cool. I don't know. I don't know if they would do a Revelations one. What are my thoughts on the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle Street Fighter 2 packs from Playmates? I love that they're 6 inch and miss out on the ones from Storm Collectible. So I was initially kind of thinking about maybe trying to get those, but I mean, there's only that's a limited, very limited thing. So frankly, when it comes to Street Fighter 2, I'm more interested in the ones that Jada Toys have coming, which are 6 inch. So I feel like that's a full on line. So we're gonna see more than just two characters released. So I probably am not going to get the Playmates toys ones and wait and see how the Jada toy ones are, and maybe start getting those. Yeah, he did die, so I don't know if we'll see him again or not. Sam Brock, will we see? I would imagine so. Um, I'm sure Hasbro will do some stuff from that. Probably the Spider-Man one as well. So I haven't seen anything specific to sit here and say 100% yes, but I think it's a pretty good bet that we will see Hasbro do stuff from those new cartoons that are coming. Yeah, these days you're right. They do. Stranger Things, Street Fighter, Transformers. Or no, that was Street Fighter that crossed over Transformers. But yeah, Karate Kid. You think they're going to bring Panther back to life? I don't know, maybe. Does the Masterverse figures look okay on the Origins Strider? I feel like that would be kind of small. Like I feel like you can kind of get away with it with like the Sky Sled, but I don't know. I feel like something like the Roton or the Strider, those would be a little too small for Masterverse. Yeah, that was a while back, but Those were cool figures, the ones that DC Collectibles did. What's up, Omega? What about those old San Diego Comic Con DC figures from NECA Toys showing up in costumes.com here this past week? And a lot of a lot of those older like con exclusives and stuff showing up there. Thanks, man. This is one of two GI Joe shirts I have. Though I did order from Super 7 that his tank t-shirt that they had on sale on their website during San Diego. I ended up getting that one. I don't know when it's going to arrive, but I thought that was a pretty cool t-shirt. I don't remember He-Man and Turtles crossing over. Yeah, I don't know if they're gonna bring those. I mean, I think Orko is still alive, but like Clamp Champ and Fisto. Yeah, I think those guys might be dead for good, at least in the Revelation universe. Um, at this time, yes. I don't remember that, but I'll take your word for it. Go. I'm kind of surprised we've never seen that, but GoBots and Transformers, like the original GoBots. Yeah, I don't really need any more Optimus Prime. I'm kind of Optimus Primed out, so it would have to be some really, really good Optimus Prime for me to buy another Optimus Prime. What is my dream figure? I don't know. I mean, U.S. Agent's my favorite Marvel character, which is why I'm still waiting on that figure to show up. DC, can't say that I have one necessarily for DC. I was thinking the other day, a vigilante figure would be cool to see, maybe from the HBO series. Even though I heard that actor is actually not coming back for the next season, so I don't know what's up with that. And what was it? Oh, GI Joe. I don't know. I like all. I mean, we've gotten so many good GI. I mean, Crimson Guard Soldier is one I'm waiting for, probably most eagerly anticipating right now. But yeah, I saw the image that leaked out for that studio series Ironhide. I'm still waiting. I'm waiting to see maybe more finalized images on that one. It looked a little plain, so I've made a. I might get that one. Well, it goes back to his original comic stories, so I just always thought he was an interesting character. A little bit crazy at times, but yeah, I mean, Captain America has always been my favorite character. So, but the storyline when Walker became Captain America and Rogers became the captain, and and all that. It's one of my favorite story arcs. So, and then I've always liked the costume, the red and black costume, the Captain America style costume in red and black. I've always liked that. So, yeah, I don't know if that's confirmed, but I do see like a headline or something saying that like he wasn't returning. So I agree. He was like one of the best parts of that series. I've never been that huge of a Green Lantern fan, to be honest. So, and I almost, I always kind of like Guy Gardner. I know Guy Gardner never gets a lot of love, but I always kind of liked him. I always liked him because I always liked him when like his confrontations with Batman. A comic book flag smasher, I wouldn't mind seeing. A happy late birthday, Omega. Enjoy the young age while it lasts. Well, I mean, John Stewart definitely. I mean, he came. I don't know if I had even read John Stewart until he appeared in the Justice League comics, or not comics, but cartoon. I mean, I think everybody knows John Stewart mostly from the Justice League cartoon. And I do like Kyle. I like Kyle too. I did not. I was not happy with the McFarlane figure though. I don't know what's up with that lime green color that they gave Kyle. If they, the figure itself, I don't think it's too bad, but the green on that figure needs to be darker. And I'm hoping maybe they re-release that figure with a darker green at some point, because I just am not digging that lime green that they gave that Kyle Rayner Green Lantern figure. I don't know what it is sometimes with McFarlane and their color choices. Like the Nightfall Batman, that's not a bad looking figure, but I don't know why they went with like the super light gray on the legs. I don't remember my exact age, but I was pretty young when that movie came out. And honestly, I don't think I've ever watched that movie in its entirety since I saw it originally in the movie theaters. I probably remember playing the Atari 2600 video game, ET video game, more than the movie itself. I used to play that ET video game for the Atari all the time. I don't even mind sometimes the stylization, but just sometimes with their color choices, I just, yeah, man, Atari 2600, that was, and the super, I don't know how many of you, the Superman game they had for the Atari 2600, that was another one I used to play all the time. I it was like addictive. I don't know what it was about it, but there was an Indiana Jones one too. Yeah, I don't know why either. I mean, I saw like they did a whole documentary about that game. I saw I remember watching that, but I always liked it as a kid. I'm not really an anime guy. I've never been much into anime. Yeah, but it was fun for some. I don't. And you built like the phone or something. I don't know, man. I don't know what keeps holding up that the next McFarlane Kickstarter. I mean, he announced it, then nothing for months and months and months, and then like he teased it, and then again nothing, months and months. I mean, I don't know what's up with that. Sorry, Henry. I'll try and read the comments out. I highlight them so you guys can see them, but I'll try and read them more. Well, Hasbro's doing Indiana Jones figures, and then yeah, Avatar for McFarlane. I will probably get the Alf figure. I don't know why. I mean, I kind of know why. I always liked Alf, so I will probably get the Alf figure. I am not getting the ET figures that NECA's doing. And sorry, CM Brock asked, "Am I getting the Alf figure?" So the Alf figure. So yes, I probably will get that one. John played the Atari Spider-Man video game. Yeah, with the Green Goblin. Yeah, I played that one too, and the Star Wars one with the AT-AT. That was, I mean, that was like just repetitive that you could never beat, but it got addictive. Like I would always get down to the last AT-AT, and then like another one would pop up. Or like, what about Pitfall from Activision for the Atari? That was another one where it was like it never ended. I was never that in love with ET in general. I mean, like I said, I saw it initially when it came in out in theaters as a kid, but I never really went back and watched it again. So, at least not in its entirety. I've seen like bits and pieces of it here and there over the years, but I don't think I've ever gone back and watched that movie in its entirety since I originally saw it as a kid in movie theaters. I mean, I thought the new Andor trailer we saw this week that actually has me really kind of interested. I was kind of lackluster on it when it was first announced, but after seeing the trailer this week, I'm actually more interested in that series. I mean, I don't know how it will be, but I feel like it has potential. Combat, yeah, Combat came with the Atari 2600, at least with mine. Combat was more fun as a two-player game if you had somebody to play with. I think some Atari 2600s came with Pac-Man and others came with Combat. Mine came with Combat. Sean, Intellivision was the way I had Intellivision was like the only console game system I did not have as a kid, and I can't tell you why. I did have a friend who had Intellivision, but I never owned. I had an Atari. My very first console game was called an Odyssey 2000, which was made by Magnavox, uh, a TV company. So that was my very first console game, and then I got the Atari 2600, and then I got a ColecoVision, and back then ColecoVision was the shit. But I never got an Intellivision, which had the He-Man game. But of course, I didn't really play with He-Man toys back then, so she was a little girl. Was she on drugs? I mean, I know she had issues with drugs later in life, but I mean, she was like what, 5 years old in that movie? I don't think she was on drugs back then. Oh, gee, there's a movie called Bayo. You should check out. All right, what kind of movie is that? MK, do I think anyone will do figures of Robin Hood from the Kevin Costner movie? No, I don't think there's much chance of that. Jerry says Mario's Bowser Castle went on sale for $15 at Target. That's my Eternia. I've never been to the Star Wars stuff at Disney. I always hear that the lines are just extremely long, so it's just like CJ either Neko or McFarlane. I swear did Goonies figures a long time back. They're doing those Munster figures based on the new movie that's coming out. Tyrone hopes that Super 7 puts out the Thunder Kittens before start charging $75 each. Yeah, my fear is they're gonna offer Snarf with the with Wily Kit and Wily Cat. And I don't really need another Wily Kit and Wily Cat because I have the Mattel ones, but I'm gonna be pissed if that's the only way we can get Snarf. Yeah, Sloth and Chunk. Yeah, I don't think they did all the characters, but I definitely remember the Sloth and Chunk figures. Unfortunately, the monster figures are based on that Rob Zombie movie, not the original. But hey, TJ, hype for the Booster Gold and Blue Beetle. I think it's an awesome looking set. I definitely gonna pick those up. Thanks, Blade Runner. Yeah, if you hook me up with Snarf, that'd be great. But then you won't have Snarf. But I don't see how they're gonna do Snarf. I mean, they've had ample opportunity. They could have offered Snarf with any of the different Lionos that they've done in the line, but yet no Snarf. So I just feel like that's what they're going to end up doing. And they know that probably a lot of us who are collecting this line do in fact already have the Mattel ones, which is probably why they haven't done Wily Kit and Wily Cat yet. So I feel like they're going to just throw the Snarf in there just so that we have to buy, those of us that already have the Mattel ones are going to have to buy it again. But I mean, you can't have the Thundercats team and not have Snarf. I mean, whether you hate him or not, it's like Orko. I mean, if you're gonna have He-Man figures, you got to have Orko. It's just he's an integral part of the team. Am I happy with the superpowers from McFarlane's? when will Walmart release them online? I mean, they put them up today online, and it looked like they were available for purchase, but then when you tried to add them to your cart, it wouldn't let you. Now it says currently unavailable, and I saw McFarlane put up something on their social media saying coming soon. So I'm gonna say probably within like the next week or so, but I don't know exactly when. As far as my personal opinion on them, I mean, I think they're cool for what they are, but I didn't really collect the original Kenner Superpowers line, so they don't have a huge nostalgia appeal for me personally. So I'm not really planning on picking them up. And then, of course, as we talked about earlier tonight, if you buy them online and Walmart ships them to you, they're probably going to put them in padded envelopes and they're going to come all messed up. And, you know, that's another line that, you know, the packaging is kind of like the most appealing thing about it. So if I tried to get them, I'd probably try and get them at physical stores, not buy them online. Yeah. The only other option I could maybe see them do is if they do like the Burbles. Then I could maybe see them doing a Burble and as Snarf as like a 2-pack. And that I would be much more interested in. So I would rather see them do that than put them in there with Wily Kit and Wily Cat. But I still feel like they're going to do it with Wily Kit and Wily Cat. I'm sure we will end up getting Safari Joe from Super 7. I mean, to me, that's almost a given. How many of you are going to get those repaints, the LJN repaints? I feel like those are not going to sell too well, but I could be wrong. All right, well, it's after 8 o'clock, so I think we're going to call it a night tonight. But as always, guys, I appreciate you guys tuning in and chatting with me. I don't know if we'll do another live stream this week, possibly. Play it by ear on Thursday, but news video tomorrow, definitely. And as always, guys, stay safe out there. And until next time, I'll catch you later.
Hey, thanks for watching today's video, and be sure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and hit that bell notification so alerted every time I upload a new video. And be sure to head over to the Toy News International and Marvelous News message boards communities. It's a great place to talk toys and win cool contests like $100 store credits to Big Bad Toy Store. And remember, action figures are great!